Samurais are one of the most fascinating aspects of Japanese history and culture. They are known for their bravery, honor, and discipline, and their influence can still be seen in modern Japan. In this video, we will explore the historical origins of samurais and how they are connected to Japanese history and culture. The origins of samurais can be traced back to the Heian period, 794-1185, in Japan. During this period, Japan was ruled by the imperial court, which was made up of aristocrats who were more concerned with art, poetry, and literature than with warfare. As a result, the country was largely defenseless against outside invaders and internal rebellions. To address this problem, wealthy landowners began to organize their own private armies to protect their estates. These armies were made up of professional warriors who were trained in the art of war. Over time, these warriors began to gain more power and influence, and they became known as samurais. The term samurai means one who serves in Japanese, and it refers to the fact that samurais were originally hired as mercenaries to protect the estates of wealthy landowners. However, as they gained more power, they began to serve the emperor and the imperial court as well. During the Kamakura period, 1185 to 1333, samurais became even more important to Japanese society. The emperor and the imperial court had lost much of their power, and the country was ruled by a military government known as the shogunate. The shogunate relied heavily on samurais to maintain law and order, and samurais became the ruling class of Japan. Samurais were not just skilled warriors, however. They also had a strong code of honor and ethics known as bushido. Bushido emphasized loyalty, courage, and self-discipline, and it was an important part of samurai culture. Samurais were expected to follow the bushido code at all times, even in times of peace. In addition to their military duties, samurais were also expected to be well-educated and cultured. They studied poetry, calligraphy, and other arts, and they were expected to be able to converse intelligently on a variety of subjects. Samurais were also known for their distinctive dress. They wore a combination of armor and loose-fitting clothing, which allowed them to move quickly and easily in battle. They also wore their hair in a top knot, which was a symbol of their samurai status. During the Edo period, 1603 to 1868, samurais continued to play an important role in Japanese society, but their power and influence began to decline. The shogunate became more centralized, and the emperor regained some of his power. Samurais were no longer needed to maintain law and order, and many of them became bureaucrats or teachers instead. The decline of the samurais culminated in the Meiji Restoration of 1868, when the shogunate was overthrown and Japan began a period of modernization and westernization. The samurai class was abolished, and samurais were forced to give up their swords and adopt Western dress. Despite their decline, the legacy of the samurais continues to be felt in Japan today. Samurai culture is still celebrated through festivals, movies, and other forms of popular culture. The Bushido Code has also had a lasting impact on Japanese society, and it continues to be an important part of Japanese ethics and values. Continuing on from the previous topic, we will now delve into the lifestyle of samurais. Beyond their warrior status and Bushido Code, samurais had a distinct way of life that encompassed their clothing, homes, food, and social interactions. Samurai clothing was not only functional but also served as a symbol of their status and identity. As mentioned before, they wore a combination of armor and loose-fitting clothing. Their armor, known as yoroi, was made of iron or leather plates and offered protection in battle. They also wore a kimono-like garment called a kamishimo, which was split down the middle and had wide sleeves to allow for easy movement. The kamishimo was typically decorated with the samurai's family crest or mon, which was a symbol used to identify one's clan. Their footwear, known as waraji, were made of straw and were designed for quick movement. Samurais lived in large houses called yashiki, which were similar in layout to traditional Japanese houses but on a larger scale. The houses had many rooms, including a reception room for guests, a living room for the family, and a separate room for the samurai to display their swords. There were also rooms designated for tea ceremonies, calligraphy, and other cultural pursuits. The homes were often surrounded by a wall for privacy and protection. Food was also an important part of samurai life. They ate a simple diet consisting of rice, fish, vegetables, and pickled plums. Meat was rare and considered a luxury. They also drank tea and sake, a traditional Japanese rice wine. Meals were often eaten in silence, and the emphasis was on enjoying the food and showing gratitude for it. In addition to their own social interactions, samurais also had a significant impact on Japanese society as a whole. They played a crucial role in shaping Japanese culture and aesthetics, including the development of kabuki theater, haiku poetry, and the tea ceremony. They also influenced the design of Japanese gardens, which were often designed to evoke a sense of tranquility and simplicity. Continuing on from the previous topic, we will now explore the martial arts and combat techniques of the samurais. As skilled warriors, the samurais had a unique approach to combat that emphasized discipline, strategy, and skill. Samurais were trained in a variety of martial arts, including kenjutsu, swordsmanship, jujutsu, grappling, and archery. The focus was on developing precise and efficient movements that could be applied in combat situations. The training was rigorous and often involved sparring with other samurais or wooden dummies. The primary weapon of the samurai was the katana, a long curved sword that was sharp on one side. The sword was not just a weapon, but a symbol of the samurai's status and honor. They were also trained in the use of other weapons, including the wakizashi, a shorter sword, the yari, a spear, and the naginata, a polearm with a curved blade. Samurais approached combat as an art form that required discipline, strategy, and skill. They believed that victory was achieved through proper preparation and training, rather than brute force. The emphasis was on efficiency and precision, using techniques that could disarm or incapacitate an opponent quickly and efficiently. The samurais also valued the importance of mental preparation, including meditation and visualization techniques, to help them stay focused and calm in combat. Beyond their physical training, samurais also had a unique approach to combat that emphasized honor and respect. They were expected to show respect to their opponents and to fight with a sense of honor and dignity. Surrender was seen as a sign of weakness, and death in battle was considered preferable to defeat or capture. The samurais' approach to combat and martial arts had a significant impact on Japanese culture and society. Their emphasis on discipline, honor, and skill influenced the development of various martial arts forms, including kendo, Japanese swordsmanship, and aikido, a martial art focused on using an opponent's energy against them. The values of bushido, including loyalty, honor, and self-discipline, continue to be an important part of Japanese ethics and values. Continuing our exploration of the samurais, we will now delve into their code of conduct, known as bushido. Bushido, which translates to way of the warrior, was a code of conduct that governed the behavior and attitudes of the samurais. It emphasized the virtues of loyalty, honor, self-discipline, and respect. Bushido was based on a combination of Confucianism and Zen Buddhism, and it played a significant role in shaping the values and attitudes of Japanese society. The samurais were expected to follow a strict set of guidelines that governed their behavior and attitudes, both in and out of combat. At the core of Bushido was the concept of loyalty. The samurais were expected to show absolute loyalty to their lord, even to the point of sacrificing their lives for their lord's sake. They were also expected to show loyalty to their fellow samurais, with whom they formed close bonds. Honor was another important value in Bushido. The samurais were expected to conduct themselves with honor and dignity, and to always act in a way that upheld their honor and that of their lord. This meant being truthful, respectful, and courageous, even in the face of adversity. Self-discipline was also emphasized in Bushido. The samurais were expected to exercise self-control in all aspects of their lives, including their emotions, actions, and thoughts. This meant avoiding excessive indulgence and maintaining a sense of balance and harmony. Throughout history, many samurai warriors distinguished themselves in battle, earning legendary status for their bravery and martial prowess. In this section, we will explore some of the most famous samurai warriors in Japanese history and learn about their incredible stories. Miyamoto Musashi, one of the greatest swordsmen in history. Miyamoto Musashi was a legendary swordsman who lived during the 17th century. He is often considered the greatest swordsman in Japanese history, having won over 60 duels without suffering a single defeat. Musashi was also a prolific author, writing the Book of Five Rings, a famous treatise on strategy and martial arts. Oda Nobunaga, a powerful feudal lord and military leader. Oda Nobunaga was a powerful feudal lord and military leader who lived during the 16th century. He is often credited with laying the foundations of a unified Japan. Nobunaga was a fierce warrior who used advanced military tactics and modern weapons to gain an advantage on the battlefield. Toyotomi Hideyoshi, the great unifier of Japan. Toyotomi Hideyoshi was a samurai warrior who lived during the late 16th century. He is often considered one of the most important figures in Japanese history, having played a significant role in the unification of Japan. Hideyoshi was a brilliant military strategist and a master of diplomacy, who brought an end to the long period of civil war that plagued Japan. Takeda Shingen, a skilled strategist and warrior. Takeda Shingen was a daimyo, or feudal lord, who lived during the 16th century. He was known for his military acumen and his strategic brilliance on the battlefield. Shingen was also a patron of the arts, who supported the development of Japanese culture and literature. Date Masamune, a visionary leader and patron of the arts. Date Masamune was a daimyo who lived during the late 16th and early 17th centuries. He is often remembered as a visionary leader and patron of the arts, who supported the development of Japanese culture and commerce. Masamune was also a skilled warrior who was known for his bravery and tactical brilliance in battle. One of the key factors that contributed to the decline of the samurai was the Meiji Restoration of 1868, which aimed to modernize Japan and strengthen its economy and military power. As a part of this process, the new government abolished the feudal system and dismantled the samurai class. The samurai were no longer allowed to wear their swords in public, which was a significant blow to their identity and pride. They were also stripped of their privileges, such as their right to collect taxes from peasants and their right to carry out capital punishment. The samurai were not the only ones affected by the Meiji Restoration. The reforms also affected the economy and social structure of Japan, leading to a decline in the demand for traditional samurai skills. Samurai who were once highly respected and sought after for their military prowess found themselves struggling to find employment in the new, modernized society. Some samurai refused to accept their new status and rebelled against the government, which led to conflicts such as the Satsuma Rebellion in 1877. However, these uprisings were ultimately unsuccessful, and the samurai class was officially abolished in 1876. Throughout this video, we have explored the historical origins of the samurai, their way of life, martial arts, code of ethics, and influence on Japanese culture and the modern world. We have also learned about famous samurai warriors and their stories, as well as the decline of the samurai and their reactions to the modern era. As we conclude this video, we would like to thank you for watching and invite you to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. The samurai have left a lasting impact on Japanese history and continue to inspire people around the world with their bravery, discipline, and sense of honor.